Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our podcast.
Today we're covering the 12th season of Pokemon titled Galactic Battles, along with this film Arceus or Arceus and the Jewel of Life, whichever pronunciation you go with.
As the menace of Team Galactic continues to loom over the Sinnoh region, Ash and Dawn and Brock keep getting caught up in the schemes of this mysterious group of villains, as well as facing some unexpected challenges. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and roll the pause videos.
yes,
So yes, we're almost there at the end of the Diamond and Pearl saga.
yes,
So
one more season of
Yep. And turns out season 13 is actually a lot shorter than we expected. It doesn't even reach 52 episodes. Now, one thing we want to tell you in here is that they do keep this thing on Dawn towards the end of the season. The thing that they've kept so far is that they kind of alternate between Ash and Dawn with their goals. Ash has his gym battle, Dawn has her contest, and every time one wins one or loses one, they switch to the other, and they just keep going on and on and on till the end. Well, in here this time, because this is why season 13 is so short, Dawn has been losing a few times in here. So it's taking longer for her to get her last ribbon before she goes home. So that's why she ends up losing a lot in here. We were kind of surprised because usually she's been winning every single one, but when it gets towards the end of the season, she actually starts either not being able to compete or she just starts losing.
Yes.
Which was a little strange. We're so used to her winning now.
That's true. But one of the best parts is Team Rocket. There's lots and lots of Team Rocket this season.
Yes!
Lots and lots and lots of Team Rocket.
We didn't even talk about Ash first in this podcast. We talk about Team Rocket
I'm
first!
sorry, Sylveon.
Okay, since we're on it, yes, let's talk about Team Rocket first.
Yes.
Yes, I loved their episodes this season. They had lots and lots of great ones. They even have this running thing where this season actually one of the themes is that they finally face off. Well, not Team Rocket. Well, yeah, Team Rocket and Ash and the company face off against Team Galactic. So you finally see what were they planning this whole time.
Right. And we also get to see him face off against Jessalina.
Yeah.
Jessalina. Crazy Jessalina.
Right.
But guys, clear up something for us. Is there an episode missing, or did they just pretend it never happened? Because at the end of that dedicated episode, it said it shows that Jessalina switched places with Jessie, and James ends up with Jessalina in the balloon instead of Jessie. And then it says, you got to get him away from her because with her they'll force him to marry her. And then the next episode it's like nothing ever happened, but you never saw it resolved. So is there an episode missing that they just aren't showing? What happened? Please let us know in the comments below, because we were expecting the next episode to show us the crazy antics they used to get him out of her clutches.
Right. Because it's been over 500 episodes and suddenly she's back. It's like, how did that happen?
It looks like there is an episode missing, because in the Japanese version there were 53 and in the American version there were only 52. So yes,
maybe there is one missing.
There's an episode missing.
Maybe we can find it on YouTube or somewhere if they actually aired it.
Yes. So yes, those were pivotal episodes for seeing more backstory on James, more backstory on Team Rocket, the real Team Rocket.
Right. Oh, and don't forget the episode where he pretended to be Jessie when she got
that was
sick.
perfect, and I called it.
Yes. And when she was sick, so he had to dress like her and compete, and he actually looked like her.
It was so funny. I said, well, maybe he'll just dress up like her and compete. And it was like a minute later, and he said, how did you know that?
Oh man, that was priceless. We were like, oh gosh, it actually did happen. And then he wins.
And they left out the little blue piece of hair, so this is not Jessie. Yes, he won.
Right, pretty fast too.
He needs to just dress up as Jessie and compete from now on, because he was just flawless in his
Right, he kept winning all the battles so quick. Like when he went up against Dom, we were surprised at how fast it went. He would get she would get one hit in, and then suddenly he'd be whamming, and then it's over.
Yeah.
Every time he fought somebody, it was like, dang, he's just mopping the floor with everybody. Why aren't you using him?
And then one more Team Rocket reference. he dressed yet again as Professor Oak.
Yes! No, the first time is probably our favorite.
Yes, it was the best one.
Right, and here they have to play again. It's like, this isn't Professor Oak. Only this time, Ash knew only because they already had Professor Oak with them.
Right.
So I was like, oh, he kind of took the fun out of it because what was funny is that he was so good at it that it was believable that they couldn't tell who was who.
And in this one, yeah, they were like, you have to do it. And he was nervous because they forced him to do it. And he really didn't want to do it. Mm-hmm. But they set some challenge to him. And then suddenly he was raring to go and pretend to be Professor Oak. But yes, I agree. The first one is the best version of him being Professor Oak.
Right.
Absolutely. So let's talk about Ash now.
Yes.
Ash grew more in terms of his training, in terms of him having more relationships with his Pokemon. It seems like every season, the main characters, each one has to lose a Pokemon.
Yeah, we know everyone lost one this season. Ash lost, what was that bat one? There was a bat one he had.
I was call him Batsy, but no, that's not it.
No, there was one he had that was like a bat. I'm not sure the name because he's got so many. So there are so many Pokemon in here. There was one that was a bat, and he was trying to teach it aerial attacks, and he learned it was actually a lot more to it than what it was, and he just couldn't teach him everything, so he left him with somebody that was specialized in that so he could train and get stronger like he did with Charizard.
And again, he shows you each season more of his maturity in being a Pokemon trainer. And then it looks like Brock and Dawn also have taken lessons from him because each of them let a Pokemon go as well.
Right. I think Dawn lost the Apom this season because of the Pokemon, the ping pong
Who really
contest.
wasn't hers to begin with.
Well, yeah, they switched Pokemon. Yeah, they had this one episode where they had a Pokemon ping pong contest. Mm-hmm. I don't know why.
Ping pong master.
Yeah, like, okay, that was that's a contest, I guess now. And yes, he left to do that. And then Brock lost one of his. I'm not sure which one it was though, because he only has like 3 or 4. And it happened a little bit after they had. They show more episodes of him.
I think he's got more than that, but for some reason they don't mention or show the others now later in the season.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Or maybe Brock didn't lose any because I think he still had the same group with him.
Okay.
So I think just Ash and Dawn and Team Rocket all lost to Pokemon.
Okay.
So they even had, along with the story, before we get to the main arc of this season for the Galactic Battles, they had a lot of standout episodes besides just the Team Rocket ones. Mm-hmm. One other Team Rocket one we'll mention is that they had this guy who was, I guess, like a government agent or an officer undercover. And at the beginning, when they were all on a train together, he gave Ash and his friends and then Team Rocket free lunch boxes.
Right.
Because he was trying to figure out where Team Galactic was, so he gave them all free lunches. And Team Rocket was just so grateful to have a free meal that they instantly loved him. And every time they saw him later, they would call him Lunchbox Man!
Look, he's Lunchbox Man!
He said, you know I have a name! He said, yes, but to us, you are the man of lunchboxes! Free lunchboxes! And they just loved him!
And they even helped him that he got caught, and they even helped to break him out and help him escape.
Yes!
Because he gave them food. It's like, Ash, all you gotta do is feed Team Rocket, and they're no longer your enemies. You'll be friends forever. Just feed them. That's all you gotta do.
Right?
So, the main arc, and then move on to the movie.
Right. Now, for the main arc for Galactic Battles, besides, of course, Ash getting all of the gym badges, which he's almost finished with, and getting to the Sinnoh League, they have a lot of episodes in here dedicated to them fighting Team Galactic. And their plan has been pretty mysterious for pretty much the entire run of this particular series. But in this season, you finally find out that they pretty much, instead of wanting to take over the world, like the brain, they want to literally reshape the young universe.
Yeah.
With the time and space Pokemon, Dalgia and, what's the other one? Dalgia and Palkia.
Yeah.
Yes, they wanted to take control of them because of the time and space Pokemon, and they wanted to use them and force them to reshape the universe in the leader's viewpoint of how it should be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is like incredibly out. This is like this is a Voltron level threat for Pokemon.
Yes, we were very surprised. Like, wow. And then that, of course, leads us into the movie.
Yes,
Arceus
and the Jewel of Life.
Yes.
Which has a similar thing because it looks like this season for Diamond and Pearl, they have all of the big Pokemon are these universal, dimensional, cosmic Pokemon, legendary Pokemon. And here, now they've added Arceus. They've had Dalkia, Palkia, Giratina, and now Arceus. Way to break the pattern. And pretty much all of them have controlled time, space, alternate dimensions, nature, and everything. And they sort of have them being sort of the life force of this universe. So that's kind of what they bring up every time when the character's on here.
Right.
Now for Arceus, in here is that he gave a jewel to this city that was in a famine, like centuries ago, and he used it to heal the land, bring back the nature and the plant life and everything, so they wouldn't be starving. And one of the leaders of the tribe, asked to keep the jewel so they wouldn't be in the same situation when the weather came, or they wouldn't be in famine again. He let them do it. Then when he came back for it, according to the Pokemon, the leader betrayed him, kept the jewel, and tried to attack him. And then centuries later, he's come back to destroy the land because he was betrayed by humans.
Of course, that always happens in this movie.
Right.
And then they got to actually do time travel and go back with a woman.
Yeah, Sheena, who apparently is the descendant of the guy who they believe did this to Arceus.
Mistakenly.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
Right. And Mama actually pointed this out. This didn't feel too much like a Pokemon movie.
No.
It felt more like Sacred Star Milos, where it was originally its own movie. It didn't get a green light, so they combined it with an existing property so they could get it going in some way.
Yeah.
So for this one, this was more of its own thing. Like Ash and his friends are involved. Team Rocket unfortunately isn't. But they're involved in a way, but you can tell that with the story going on, it's really more about Sheena. It's her story, her movie.
Absolutely.
Although I will say there was a great moment in there towards the end when Arceus actually got tricked again. When you saw who really tricked him, and they were literally trying to kill him off. They weren't even trying to hide him. They were just going to bury him alive. And Ash was still trying to save him and befriend him. Right. And he was willing to even get killed to save the Pokemon. So it still showed that, Ash is one of those people that does anything for Pokemon.
Well, he also, you have to say, with each season that progresses and with each movie, again, he shows a depth of maturity that you don't expect to see each and every time. And he grows as a character. He grows as a person. And you really see how selfless he is. And I mean, he does it for the Pokemon too, but he also does it to help humans. He doesn't just do it to help Pokemon. And then in this season, we also saw them help Team Rocket.
Yes.
So Ash
multiple times. Yeah.
Ash is one of these characters that you can understand why he's so beloved so many decades later. The more you watch this series, the more you see him develop, the more you see what happens. You understand why people like Sylveon really, really love Ash. And you grow to love him just as much.
Right. Because
he's just this great character. And you don't expect it. At least we didn't when we watched the first season. But again, more and more, you see why he's such a beloved character. And why when they tried to replace him with Go, it wasn't going to happen.
Right.
So, yay Ash.
Yes. And I gotta say, this movie was definitely interesting to watch. It is not one of our favorites just because it didn't feel like a Pokemon movie. That sense of fun, unfortunately, was just not there after the first 10 minutes.
And it didn't even have a great song. They usually have a great opening and a great outro. But this time they didn't have either.
Right. And that's part of why it's not one of our favorites. I mean, it was still a great movie, great plot. Lots of action and drama, just like the other movies in the franchise and in this particular set.
But it seemed too much like an outside character, Sheena's movie, rather than Ash's movie.
Right. It actually would have been a little different if she was introduced in the series already and then given a movie.
Right.
But she wasn't. So she was specifically for this adventure.
True. So we are looking forward to watching season 13, the shortened season of 32 episodes, and finishing up with Diamond and Pearl so we can get to Black and White.
Yes.
So we will see you next podcast with season 13. But in the meantime, if you've seen season 12 of Pokemon and the Arceus movie, let us know what you think in the comments below.
Right. And be sure to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get updates on future podcasts and all the pause videos.
And yes, Sylvian, we had something nice to say about Ash.
Well, we always do.
Yes.
We just, unfortunately, our attention shifted slightly. But we said good things.
Yes.
So, thank you so much for watching. I'm Rascal Entertainment.
And I'm Mom Entertainment.
Have a toontastic day.
Peace.
And reporters sitting flashing lights. Trying to walk around, man, who the hell are you? What you wanna do? Well, man, it's on you. Man, it's on you. With her in my dreams, she was my queen. A castle in the mountaintops, rivers and streams. Plucking sunlight from the sky in my pocket. Give it to you later on in the